free cake, free drinks. I'm like, wow, this is what work is like. Bring me in every single day. My name is Bobby Seagull. I'm a school maths teacher, author, and TV broadcaster. I grew up on a council estate in East Ham, so for me, seeing that professional environment, it was the first time I'd seen a real professional environment. So in my school, the way students got work experience was, at break time one day, we'd turn up into a big science room, and there are lots of white pieces of paper with information about companies, what the hours were, where it is, all scattered in the room. But it's first come, first served. So we'd, the bell would go, we'd all run into the room and all like frantically going around, looking at the pieces of paper, throwing them around everywhere. And if you're lucky, you'd find something amazing. If you're unlucky, you'd be like, not just with shelf stacking, but maybe there's more, I'd say, creative work experience out there. But you're literally just scrambling, finding it, and people are going shouting, yes, I got this amazing thing, IT firm. Oh my God, I got this thing, I'm working with the head teacher. And I luckily found one with Reuters, but it was frantic and madness. One of the more high-profile things I did in my work experience was presenting the findings of my review of their internal systems. I presented it to someone quite senior in the firm. They had turned up very suited and booted, and they didn't really know who it was, but they were told, yeah, we've got someone here, Bobby Seagull, who's been looking at their internal systems. And I was very prepared, had PowerPoint, and I wore my best suit, slightly ill-fitting as a 15-year-old. I think I'd even made the tea for the person, saying, I'm willing to do anything. And that was the first time I'd been exposed to someone at quite a senior level of board. The first time I was asked, you've got this job to look at the internal systems and present it to a board level person, I was a bit like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. But I tried not to show it on my face. I was like, yep, I can do this. Yep. And inside I'm like, oh no, what's going on? But I think that's the way you got to deal with it, internalize it, and then afterwards have the panic because you're like, okay, what's going on here? My biggest fear about leaving school and entering the work environment was probably the uncertainty, but also expectation of what's going to happen. School, college, university, graduate job, knowing that's all ahead of you and having the uncertainty actually did strike fear into my heart a bit. The fact that work experience isn't mandatory in secondary schools, I think is a massive dereliction of duty from our education system, because our young people, obviously they've got to get the exams and grades so they can progress. But the reality is when you're working in different employment places, you need to have had that experience where you know how to deal with colleagues, the systems, how to even simple things like making sure that you're wearing a suit for your first day if it's appropriate. Work experience was life-changing for me because it was the first time I had the opportunity to try out my skills I'd learned in school in a different environment. And actually, it gave me the confidence to know I might be able to succeed elsewhere.